Welcome to the Men of Action Network. The Men of Action Network is a life coaching system designed to support men's needs towards accurate living. For short, we call it MOAN. Welcome to our podcast. Today's segment will be called Sins of the Fathers, where we'll explore the long-term effect of bad decisions and choices made upon generations. Sit back and enjoy. Well, we're back at the round table.
Yes. Appreciate it.
Really? All right. He's extra. But anyway. Guys, we could be getting some pretty good responses back from Sons of the Father so far.
Yeah, first video.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think people are starting to recognize and maybe even look at trends in their families and start to understand that there's more to it than just meets the eye.
That's right.
You know, it's not just Nellie pregnant again, or Sammy going to jail again.
Yeah.
It's something more, and there may be some antecedents or some precursors to what's really going on. It may be that somewhere within the family line of things, something was lacking that should have been a part of that household. Perhaps it was the father. When fathers are missing out of a household.
Yeah, kid don't have a model.
Yeah, a model. The daughter doesn't have a boyfriend. Now, her first boyfriend should be her father. And that should set the standard,
Right.
of what a man,
Expectation.
what a man's supposed to be for her.
Yeah.
And today is our second installment of Sins of the Father. I hope you enjoyed last week. This week we're talking about what is a man. And interesting story behind that selection of topic. I'll let David tell his story, how it came up.
What's a man? It's I think right now that for me as a person, a part of my struggle is really trying to define what that is, and it's not because I don't really know what that is. It's because of the only example of a man that I've known is my dad.
Right.
But there's a lot more to just my dad.
Okay.
Because my dad was being a man in the way that he knew.
Okay.
So there's some kind of responsibility that I have to find out what a man is.
Right.
Beyond just the scope of my daddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
I think if we look at also segments of time, people have an expectation of what they believe a man is.
Yeah.
Back in my dad's day, you bring home the food, you bring home the money, you work hard, and you grunt at everybody else.
Well, that was your job as a man, is to provide for the family. Okay.
Small aspect.
Small aspect, yeah.
Yeah.
There's other aspects,
But
Yeah.
is he the sole provider of the family?
Not today.
Well, but even biblically, was he the sole provider of the family?
Well, it doesn't say. Okay, but the thing of it is that biblically in ancient times, women did have businesses, own businesses, successful businesses.
Okay.
While the man also did his thing.
Right.
And a lot of times, a man in those days, his job was being a soldier.
Being a soldier. If you read the story of Boaz, Boaz, Esther, Ruth. That one of them. Shucks. Women, don't say y'all were underrepresented in the Bible. No. But if you look at the story, you see Boaz gone to do business at the gates of the city.
Right.
And then when you read the story behind Proverbs lady? Proverbs 31.
Proverbs 31 woman, yes.
She gets up early.
Yes.
And goes to bed after everybody else going to sleep.
Right.
And because she's working to make sure that her family is well taken care of. So before we load up on the man, we need to decide where our value system of what a man is and where it really comes from. And then try to figure out where we are today. Because
Right.
I don't think, I think we got a lot of issues.
We do have issues.
You know?
We do.
Oh, you call it issues?
Yeah, I said issues.
Issues.
I mean, think about it. You got a man with all the man stuff will look in the mirror and put on makeup and call himself a woman.
That's a whole other ballgame.
And want everybody to go down the street and treat him like a woman.
Yeah.
You know? And I said it for an extreme. Because we got women that look in the mirror and put on a man pair or whatever and decide that she's a man. But if we work our way back to the middle of where all this is, because, they say, well, those people are gay and these people are straight, then we also have to consider, then if you are a straight man, what's a straight man's role?
Right.
I think that's what we have to, kind of qualify the lanes of what we're talking about. Are we talking about the extremes?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're talking about,
Segments.
the
Yeah.
segmentation, the parts of what's a man, and then what's a man's role as a father, as even a son, as a single man, as a man with a family. I mean, what's a man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. One thing we have to look at is the value system of the person.
Okay.
What is their value system? Where do they get it from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If there's a strong male presence in the family,
Okay.
whether it be an uncle, a nephew, anybody, that son and probably that daughter will look at that and say, I want to be like that. And when they get those value systems from there, I want to be strong. I want to be have integrity. I want to be accountable. I want to.
Okay.
And then they work toward that to build their value system. The problem is, a lot of times our people value system is built on false precepts.
Okay. Well,
Okay, but it goes back to, is my value system based on what I see, or is my value system based on my ability to see, to make some kind of informed decision, to formulate my own value system on top of that, or abstract from that,
right.
and learn how to become a better part of what I know? Example, if I look at my dad, okay, once again, my dad is a great man, a pastor, great church, everything. But there are parts of that when I look at it now, that with my son, I make sure I change that, because, okay, being a pastor is not just in the home. It's for members and different people, and he's taking on different roles.
Yeah.
So sometimes, he's not necessarily home as he would like to, because, obligations and responsibility.
Yeah.
So for me, I make sure that I don't take on a lot, so I can be a little bit more at home, when it comes to my own son. So
Then we got to scale it back again. We got to scale it back again.
Exactly.
Because just now, we even involved the role of what type of dimension your father operated out of.
Right.
We added that he was a pastor, for example. My dad was also a pastor, so I can relate.
I feel left out.
But, the issue then is that we then come out of a Judeo-Christian mindset.
Right.
We're coming out of a for lack of a better term, we are just stifled the conversation
into one form. Right?
into one format.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of fathers out there. There's some, unfortunately, to me, who don't go to church or don't have any religious background at all.
Affiliation, right.
But are they good fathers or not?
Yes, they are.
Are they good men or not?
Exactly.
So we have to then.
What is good?
Yeah.
Right.
What is good for a man to
Right.
be, and then what are those specific definitions besides you're swinging,
Right.
that make you a man.
Right. Example, my friend, which I know, Mr. Anthony,
Shout
out to Anthony. Anthony to me is a great father. You know, he's not a Christian. He doesn't go to church. I don't think he believes in God, right?
He got values.
But his value system, right? From Cincinnati, you know, born and raised and so on, and he has 3 boys, right? And something happened with mom, you know, with drugs, and he went in and he got his sons. Okay. He put his son in like a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay. His boys are in there, and he slept on the sofa. Okay. He got up early. He dropped them at the daycare. He worked part-time because when daycare is over, and from where the job is, he can't get over to daycare, so he worked part-time. And he's struggling, but he has his boys, okay? And I've never seen a man love his sons like that, okay? He cut their own hair. He washes their clothes in the basement, okay? Because, you know, he ain't got a washing machine, and he can't afford to go to the laundromat. So, you know, he's in there, and he's doing his thing, and he, you know, he kind of hangs his clothes. And that touched me because I'm looking at a man who says, you know what? My dad wasn't there for me. Matter of fact, it's been about, I don't know how long. The last time I saw my dad, I was 5, okay? And when I did, he was always drunk, smacked my mom, and then he just left. But I decided that I want something more for myself than just what I saw.
See, but you see,
you know?
so then you just add characteristics. As a father, okay, this man that you spoke about, Anthony's dad, was what we would call, society would say, was a good man. He took the responsibility of caring for his sons. He showed them love. He provided for them, even at his own self-sacrifice. He was faithful to his charge. So if we put that in our category of good things for a man to be, it would be that he's loving.
Yes, definitely.
He's faithful. He's
Caring.
responsible. He's nurturing / caring.
Self-sacrificing.
Self-sacrificing. So why the heck we only get socks for Father's Day?
Or a tie.
Or that be pissing me off. I'm sorry. You're not edit the tape. But serious. I mean, you know, if we provide and supposed to be loving, caring, self-sacrificing, and all these things, why is it that men today are so then regulated to a position of so little esteem? So little esteem. When in essence, from what you guys also described earlier, it's that father who sets the
example.
Not only an example, but technically what you were really saying was the culture of the family, the value system of the family.
But that's how it's supposed to be.
But that's how it's supposed to be. But so you're saying that then fathers are undersold, undercared for?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Without dealing with the corporates and who might be responsible, I think we can recognize that then we have a problem that we can say maybe men themselves are responsible for as well.
Yes.
Okay. If I'm not there, you know.
What's the effects?
If I'm philandering, back to caressing and carousing. If I'm not legitimate and faithful to the people I'm supposed to be faithful to, then I've taken myself out of the picture. Okay. The story I wanted you to tell about how this question came up was the story about the 18-year-old who became 18, 17 to 18. And I won't call out his name, although he's an adult now. But that particular guy, upon crossing over from 17 to 18, getting the right to, you know, vote? No. Vote at 18, Getting the right to vote and a few other things, he asked the humbling question, what is a man?
What do I do now?
You know, what do I do now? And the picture is a little cloudy.
Yeah, very.
You know, looking up at today's world, where again we have the extremes, but at the same time we have this responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe we need to also look at it from the standpoint of what are the responsibilities of a single man,
Right.
then a family man,
Family man. Right.
a working man, and then maybe a community man.
Right.
And while we kind of, in some sense, operate all at the same time, we need to be able to at least
Differentiate the dynamics of that.
differentiate the dynamics of that and do so well. I think it's a hard question in today's world.
It is.
You know,
It is.
especially with the feelings and emotions of everybody on their sleeve.
Yeah.
You know, you can't tell anybody anything because once you say something, somebody's mad, and who are you to judge? And
Yeah.
you know, it's stupid, really. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you got a 50-year-old man look at a 20-year-old guy, or a 28 or 30-year-old guy, and say, hey man, why don't you change this over here? Why don't you do it like this? Why don't you do it like that? And you got some hard-headed guys out there that don't want to listen. Bruh, pull up your pants.
Please.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm tired of looking at your assets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and don't know where you've been like that. You know, so pull them up. You know, we rather see Levi's. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's that pants on the ground is something that came from the prison system,
Mm-hmm.
and it denoted whether you were available
For extracurricular activities.
right.
That's one of the stories I heard about how it came about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's sort of sad that we take these type of things and think this is how a man should be.
But it goes back to what you said earlier. It's the example.
Right, is the example. But I give you an example of pants on the ground that really should not. It should be something that we look at,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing that we should model.
Emulate, right.
Okay, I was on East Ponce de Leon, downtown Atlanta. I saw this guy. He had bags in both his hands. Bags. He was
I'm
heavy.
sorry with visual.
And his pants were sliding down, so about every 10 feet he stopped, pull up his pants, pick up his bag, go everything.
That's just ridiculous.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
But the worst thing of it is,
Oh, it gets worse.
oh yeah,
Oh, wow.
the police like your pants on the ground, cause you can't run.
Yeah.
You start running, the pants drop down, you fall.
Yeah.
And they start laughing and say, I got it.
Yeah. See, the issue is, well, part of the issue is that as our society changes, we adapt every nuance, every change, every shift there is in fashion, trends, or styles. The problem is you can't take on every fashion, trend, and styles because it just may not be good for you.
So
right.
you're saying then
You
the
know.
realization of a father in a home is also that he's a standard bearer?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
He said.
Example, my brother Hugh. Hey Hugh. I love my brother Hugh. For the
I got brothers too.
Me too.
Well, we're talking about mine right now. My brother Hugh and my brother Rodney. Shout out to my brother Rodney. Okay.
Golly.
Anthony, Hugh, Rodney,
Hey, just saying.
Bill,
Hey, no
Billy,
Bill. No Bill.
Curtis.
No
All right.
Curtis. No Curtis.
Just in case. Hello.
These are two men that I admire, and here's why. My niece, okay, my brother would take his daughters on dates,
Okay,
okay?
that's good.
The whole
Yeah.
gambit. I
Yeah.
mean, he opened the door, he take them out to dinner, he sat with them date night,
Model
okay?
of behavior.
I'm not gonna call my niece's name, okay? Now she's grown, okay? Rodney, the same thing, okay? For his granddaughter, same thing,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And he set the tone and the standard so his granddaughter and of course, you know, my niece could see what it's like being a man. So when they go out there, they have some kind of model as to what a man could or should or would do in terms of how they treat them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a great father. Okay.
I'm gonna throw something out here. I had a conversation with a young lady yesterday, and we had about 20-25 minutes together. But we were talking about. I overheard her in a conversation, and her conversation was about how her son didn't like being over at his dad's house because obviously they were separated. So it was dad's weekend, and the son's like, "Man, just take me back to mama house." 3-year-old. Three.
You can get away with stuff at mama house.
Well, the deal is this. They were together. They broke up. She thought his maturity process should have been where her maturity process was.
At 3?
You know? I'm talking about the husband and the husband, the father.
The father.
The donor. But no, I'm sorry. I don't even mean to put that. I would strike that if I could. I would say this. The guy who was involved, I had to go back and explain to her. I said, look, there's something you don't understand. When you're 9 months pregnant, we didn't live one of those days pregnant. Mm-mm. So when you say you're nauseous, okay, if we're a nice guy, can I get you something?
Right.
But if you say you're nauseous, honestly, that's not something that's really attractive. It's like, baby, I'm feeling like I might throw up. Really? Let me get away. Because I don't want to see it. I don't want to smell it.
No point of reference either.
No, it's not. But it's just the natural reaction that comes to somebody saying, I want to spit up. We don't have a point of identification or whatever with a woman in that situation. And she said, I never thought about that. She was honest enough to say, I never thought about that. Mm-hmm. That 9 months with that child growing in her forces her to stop certain activity.
Right.
Change the way she eat. Mm-hmm. The clothes she got to wear. Because
how she look after herself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Being more conscious of where she is, how she is. Right. In the car. When she can't put on the seatbelt anymore. Right. All these things are making her conscious of it. Plus that she feels that baby moving inside of her.
That's right.
So she's getting some sense of a personality, of likes or dislikes from this child already. The guy ain't got none of that.
Right.
He's got none of that.
No point of reference.
No point of reference, no point of seeing into it. So the sensitivity that you're ticked with that he doesn't show, not that he doesn't care to show, but he don't know to show. Especially if he's 18 and you 17. If he's 16 and you 15, how does he know to take care of you when he don't even know how to take care of himself yet?
That's true.
Or he could be 40 with the same kind of deficit.
Well, come on. If it's generational, like we talked about in the sins of the father, it's passed on, and now he just started a little bit younger. So there's impatience at the young man. Because he's, messing up. He doesn't know how to be a part of that.
Right.
And maybe your expectation is wrong.
And that's a whole other podcast too that we'll talk about expectation.
Yeah. Because these, you're asking a guy to be empathetic, to be caring in areas that he don't know anything about.
But also more women-like.
Oh, yeah. And for a real man, that ain't going.
Well, back in the day, just for a quick explanation of this, by the time a woman reached her 3rd trimester, either her mother would move in the house to take care of her,
sister,
or she would move in with mama. So that someone who really understood what mama was going through, or what you were going through, or what a woman was going through, could kind of empathize, be caring, be nurture, support that process. But now you're talking about a guy, if he's a good guy, he's hustling, trying to make money, trying to be there for you the best he know how. What you need, some ginger? Okay, I'll get up again and go get some ginger. You want some candy? I'll get up again and go get some candy.
Even though it's 2 o'clock.
Even though it's 2 a.m. in the morning. He's trying.
know, some
Yeah.
ice cream and pickles.
But yeah, you know, peanut butter and ice cream. I
Ice
don't
cream
know.
and pickles?
Yeah. You know, my wife is from West Africa.
Okay.
She wanted something, some type of clay, something that they have, you know? But it gives iron. It's found out to be very medicinal. But still, I was like, what the? You eating dirt?
Well, that's the same thing back in the day where you're talking about. They had this starch, this, I think they called it starch, and it came in a little block, and the lady would just break off of that and eat it.
Exactly.
And I didn't understand that as a young child.
Lopo. That's what they call it, lopo.
Okay.
But it's a clay.
Yeah.
The same thing you're talking about. Same thing you're talking about.
I have no clue what that is.
Yeah. My only point here is this, that manhood, if we had to try to define it today, is this responsible, caring, accountable person that maybe you can see him from different angles and still find integrity,
Yes.
virtue,
Truth.
doing the right thing or trying to get the right thing done.
Yeah.
There's no manual, you know, that comes with manhood at birth. This is how to be at 17, 18, 19, and 30 or 50 or whatever. But inherent in a man should be that idea that these are my sons,
Right.
my daughters. I love them.
Right.
I'm going to care for them. This is my wife. Or even if it's just my girl, she's mine.
Right. Still gotta honor her.
So I'm going to honor her as if she was a wife
Right.
and take care of her.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I want to be there
Right.
for them, and I will sacrifice for them.
And as we evolve as men, as we get older, we are adapting new value systems that still keep our baseline of who we are.
Right.
Because manhood is a constant evolving process.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be the same kind of man you were last year for this year.
Right.
It's just not, you know, conducive to where you are. So
It's true.
You got,
It's true.
got to keep that true north.
True enough.
True north. That's what we
Well,
got.
I'll say this. It don't hurt to be a man that has God in your life.
True.
Because a man, to me, with God in his life, is giving a value system that says that the world is not just me.
Right.
And your hope is not just in me.
Right.
Your hope is higher than me. And it allows a child or a family to believe that, well, hey, daddy needs some help. We done all we can do, but now God gonna help our daddy too.
Yeah.
That faith system that says that it's beyond just what we can physically do is important. So,
Very important.
did we get this one done?
I don't
Yeah,
know,
say
did
so.
we?
the best we can.
Best we
Yes,
can. Meanwhile, to answer that 18-year-old's question, welcome to a level of life that you hold on to the values that mom and dad transferred to you, evaluate them, and see what's the best of them, and you hold on to them. And then you move forward in life, taking responsibility that comes to you because, hey, you got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to work somewhere. You know, there's some things that you're going to have to do. You know, and then as you grow through the process, you're going to look at the value systems around you. Okay, because as David was saying, we grow and we adapt as we go. Okay, but we never lose the sense of righteousness, of truth, honesty, integrity. Okay, that all go along with that. Caring, nurturing, loving. It makes us the men that become fathers, that become community men, that become church men, or that become marketplace men, wherever we are. And then when our people find us, they still find us strong.
Yes. The other thing is, as a man, it's not how many women you get in your bed. It's not how many children you have. And the thing of it is ladies, don't get it all confused. Because when a man get ready to marry, he really looking for a virgin. He's not looking for experience. Okay?
Or a virtuous woman.
That's true.
Virtuous woman.
Yeah.
Virgin or not, virtuous.
Virtuous woman.
Yeah.
So let's not get it confused. Just cause the guy can talk good, smell good, look
What
good.
if he got all his teeth?
That's a big help, right?
That's a help.
No gold in his mouth.
No gold in his
But the thing
mouth.
is, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please click on the link below. Our next podcast will get more into manhood and, of course, spurring trust, and also answer some questions that's out there that's